Good evening, good people, and welcome to another Final Fantasy Randomizer community race here on SpeedGaming. I am Saracen, joined in the booth tonight by Admiral Tryhard. How you doing, Admiral?
Oh, I'm all right. Excited to see some Final Fantasy Randomizer again. And today, we've pretty much got some spring tournament pods, or pretty much our early rounds of spring tournament, except a little bit harder.
Yeah, so tonight's race, the flags are loosely based on the spring tournament. I say loosely because they are tweaked to be a little bit harder, but this is for week 4 of the Duckling Derby, so our final week of the Derby. Big race coming up, and we are a little bit less than a minute away from the gate drop, so these runners are going to be starting very soon. So if you're not familiar with the pod flags, a couple of interesting things. You start with a free canoe and a free bridge. Our characters all have 2 bonuses and 1 malice. The idea with the pod flags is that it really opened up inner sea routing. And so you can get to some places that, we'll see if you have to do a very early ice dive or something like that. But with these flags, there was a lot more exploration and improvisation as a theme. The additional pieces that make things a bit harder include the unrunnable status is back on in the spring tournament. Everybody had full runnable. There are unrunnable encounters in these. The encounter rate's up a little bit. There's a malice for everybody. So, it's things like that. Just a little bit of spice on top.
Yeah. Although a lot of these class blursings seem to be on the good side tonight, although it may modify how you play with the classes. To give us an example, the Black Mage can equip the white shirt, but can't equip a ribbon. So it's like a lot more absorb potentially for the Black Mage or the Black Belt. Very hard hitting, but also even more of a glass hat cannon. Runners are off. We've got Saber, Lit 2, and Temper and Black Magic.
One of the other items for these flags is the second and third slot at the character creation was actually locked. It was a simulated draft, so it just forced 2 characters. So that sort of defines a little bit of your strategy going in, because you only get to pick 2.
Yep. This seed has forced upon the runners a fighter and a red mage. Certainly 2 characters that you can never go wrong with. Especially at the chain armor +2 in the shops.
Now, one downside that we're seeing right off the gate is that Invis 2 is going to be completely locked out for anybody who didn't bring a white mage, which is Demon RHK brought a white mage, so we have 1 person who can actually cast it. Pretty much going to be looking for that white shirt to cover the rest of it. We got 2 of our runners on stream heading in right away to the Temple of Fiends to the Temple of Fiends. Professor Renderer shortly behind, Demon RHK now heading up as well. So it's kind of expected. No real route divergence yet. I don't expect that we'll see any until Provoca. We do have some starting items. We had starting tents, which really makes the early game a little bit friendlier. It allows you to run around to Elf earlier. It can allow you to navigate through the river system to get down to Crescent Lake earlier. And it's really important to have access to that early housing in this flag set, because your ship and and other items can be locked away in pretty obnoxious places.
Yep, you can possibly find your ship in Ice Cave. That'd be kind of rough for some of these runners, especially because we have a much higher encounter rate than you would see in Spring Tournament. We've got 80% of vanilla encounter rate in dungeons. So, and for those who don't know, vanilla encounter rate is stupid. It's just stupid. one of the worst things about the original Final Fantasy, apart from major bugs.
So I saw a Great Axe +4 as an opening weapon out of the top left in Tove. We're seeing a crystal and a slab coming out of the King and Sarah, respectively.
All right, fetch quest for days.
Well, the crystal's kind of nice. It gives you an excuse to stop by and grab those chests, which can be early money. It's on the way practically, right? Like, because you have the canoe, you can just sort of skip over the rivers there, which is even freeing up some steps. And it's nice to just get that out of the way. Clear the mind.
Yep. Unfortunately, we won't find any loose items in that chest, so anything on the incentive table, like the Vorpal sword or power gauntlets, is going to be off the table. However, we could just find Mazmune, I think, unless there's another flag.
So we are getting a silver bracelet and a Pro Ring +4 out of Matoya, and we get the key from Matoya. So right back to Canaria we go, I think. Go ahead and get out the Canaria locked stuff out of the way. One of the other big things with the pod flags, if you're not familiar with these, was the introduction of random chest in dungeon for incentive items. So when we talk about there being an incentive in Sky, it's not just going to be that second floor of Sky, bottom left chest in the asterisk room kind of thing. It could be any of the 52 chests in that dungeon. That is a commitment sometimes. And sometimes...
I just noticed we've got Pro Ring +4 in Matoya's cave, so those Pro Rings are going to look nice.
Yeah. So, going on with the random incentive in dungeon, that's going to actually show up first in here, because the Canaria locked rooms, there's 6 chests. It could be at any of the 6 chests, and it's like, oh, whatever. It's just kind of an annoyance. Later on in the spring tournament, there were monster in a boxes added, so it became a little bit weird. Oh, ribbon +2 in Canaria locked, and the cube. I'm always a fan.
3 ribbons.
I'm always a fan of the early ribbon.
Yeah, now with all of that equipment, Pro Ring +4, Silver Gauntlets +1, and Chain Armor +1, Fighter is looking to be pretty tanky.
Yeah, and there's no way that any of these runners miss out on that ribbon, which is really nice, right? Like, we have some assurance. And assurance is kind of a thing you need when you're looking at running a fighter-based composition, right? Like, any assurance you have allows you to go in a little bit lower, a little bit more risky, but like you're mitigating that risk. That's speed that you would gain versus a black belt comp, for example. So I love seeing the early ribbon. It also can facilitate some riskier dives earlier on. And we see Papadux heading over to Provoca now as well.
Yep. Meanwhile, Demon is going to check Toph locked. I wonder what he's going to see on those trap tiles, along with these unrunnable wolves.
Oh, this is a jerk encounter right here.
With mute touch. And slow.
Anything they can do to make you just want to hit reset, right? Well, does he go back? He does go back. I sort of understand this play if we were running a black belt comp. And right back into another one of these encounters with the wolves.
He's hoping to get that lit 2 off.
Would be nice. Chime out of Bicky. We now have Sky, Sky, Sky. Except we need to transportation to get there.
Yeah, we need to get to Sky in order to clear Sky.
Looking at our consumables, housing market is a little inflated, a little bit like our current situation in North America. Looked like the Pro Ring was in the armor shop here in Provoca.
Yeah, armor is looking to be great. And I've seen a lot of blessed armor. Now, I believe I'm looking for the thing. Yeah, our current equipment blur things, armor can go from -3 to +4. So we got max rolled pro rings. And as for weapons, it can go from -2 to +5. So really good weapon chances as well.
So,
So
looking
we
at the level 2 magic, we saw, I think, Harm 4 and Bane is the only real interesting spells. Papaduk's taking the river system route, so going most likely for that guaranteed item in Crescent Lake before deciding to go anywhere else.
Yeah, because from Crescent Lake you can go up into Ice Cave or even Volcano if you want some extra items. Or you can head to Elfland and go towards that whole marsh cave thing that no one likes.
So nobody likes Marsh Cave, but Marsh Cave is actually, I think, more interesting in this flag set than in, more typical like boxes in vanilla locations kind of thing. So one of the nice things with the random chest in dungeon is there is a very short walk to go up to what I call Marsh Attic, Marsh North, if you will. There's 4 chests up there. 2 of them are linked to the floor down from the south split. But it is a very short walk up to that 4 pack of chests. It's easy to reset out if there's nothing up there. And it makes that, if it is in the north rooms, it's so easy to get in and out. All right, getting our first look at the Sage, and we get the ship, which will appear over at the Elfland dock.
Ooh, now we just need the canal, and we'll have full access to Sky. Do you think any of our runners are willing to go to Sky at any time soon?
We don't have the spells for it yet. That's kind of our tricky thing right now. Is so I saw Ice 3 and Zap in level 6 Magic when Papaduk's was checking there. When you're running a red mage party, as your soul casters, the only thing that you're really looking for in level 6 Magic is what will I never have access to? Because I think you get like the first slot of black magic when you are promoted to red wizard. So it's like, if Nuke landed here, I'm not going to be happy. Hate the 13th, running into Ice Cave right off the bat.
Oh, finding unrunnable mages.
I don't hate that. That is actually a decent encounter.
So long as they're nice to him, that's really good.
Papaduk's making a volcano play. Demon RHK headed over to the dwarves to check out the dwarven armory.
I like this play because he's likely going to head to Marsh next. And all these chests make for really safe checks at the beginning of the game.
There's an ice shield, another pro ring.
Good money, more money, and chump change. Yeah, we've got hate taking on those mages and getting plenty of experience from it.
There was a 5-digit gold box on Papaduk's side, like 29k. Yep. That's good money before you walk into Elfland. Mage stick.
Yeah. I don't think we have to worry about sweepers anymore because we got 3 people who can cast sweepers now.
So we have 3 people who can cast semi-acceptable sweepers. I think that's really the key here.
Quantity over quality this seed, man.
Right. But we are probably going to see Papaduk's boogieing on out of here, as this place is dangerous and he's like level 6. My attitude on Volcano has sort of shifted over time, and I think it's been the Burt influence of, I used to like to come in here to get the early resources out of the armory because it's relatively safe dive. However, more and more I'm of the camp of go there when you can kill carry. because otherwise you're going to have to come back. And so, if
Honestly,
we end up in a situation...
I like to play specifically for this flag set because it's been intentionally made more difficult.
I can understand that.
Like, if this was like if the encounter rate was like, 20-30% lower, I would skip the Volcano Armory.
I follow you. So Papa Duck's getting out of there. Demon RHK headed to the north side of Marsh. Hate the 13th is working his way through the bottom floor of ice, with only a red mage and a fighter to his name.
Hey.
I actually don't hate that at all. I'm a big fan of being down to 2 characters for this.
Yeah, some of my best seeds ever have always been with two-man strats. But finding more of these
spike tile. It's the spike tile before the last chest. Just to slap it on you a little bit more. Professor Renderer taking the roundabout way over to Elf from Crescent. I like it because it avoids the rivers, and the rivers can be scary.
Yeah, except that there were very, very modest HP Caribs, so that's good popcorn.
And now on Demon RHK's side, out of Marsh North. That's from one of the linked chests, I believe.
Was it the left chest?
Yep. Bottom left.
So he's, from what I see Demon doing, he's not resetting out, so he's not caring about any of the other chests in Marsh. He just wants to leave.
Right. And I mean, he's got the incentive item. That's what really matters. Yeah. Flame Sword +1 on Hate the 13th side.
Perfect for the fighter.
That is an excellent weapon. I am guessing,
however,
based on that drop, that it is a vanilla incentive. Yep, bottle. That's unfortunate. That is such a huge waste of time. We're seeing level 4 nuke.
So that means it is Red Mage learnable and Ninja learnable.
Yeah, it looks like Fire 3 was at level 3. The White Magic was nothing to write home about at level 3. And I did not catch the 4th level White.
Ooh, that's a very expensive loot.
Yep, so we do have, on Professor Renderer's side, the multi-instrumentalist Sarah flag on, so we get a random musical instrument for our loot. It is a whistle this time around.
Yeah, I always like either running only one of the name-changing flags at a time, so I'll like flip a coin, choose between food and instrument.
I always do the ruby change. 100% of the time.
I like glue. It's so gooey. Best food ever.
I also like when you get things like beer, or you can get some relatively like decent ones, but to have the Titan talking about how delicious beer is. Oh, Fade and Exit are white locked at level 4. Okay.
Oh, demons must be feeling pretty good then.
Yeah, Exit is a very helpful spell in this flag set. It's going to make that ice cave a lot easier.
Yeah, you get that incentive item instead of going through half of ice a second time. You just leave.
Professor Renderer now making that Marsh play.
This low-level Brack I see in the shop, I get a sneaking suspicion that Papa Ducks will be very happy to see that, if he's already seen it.
I don't think that Papa Ducks is necessarily going to care. There's 2 nuke casters before promotion, 3 after. That's good enough.
He always does Brack strats on Kraken and Tia.
There is that linked chest. That bottom left chest links into the south split mid room on the way down. I think it might be just as far. might be slightly closer to the exit, but that is like the joy of knowing what linked chests are in this game.
Yeah. Like if we had like loose items in this flag set, which we don't, I would see that. I would clear out the marsh top right, and I'd see that linked chest be the canal. I'd be like, oh, ooh, and then I'd reset out, go back down, and grab the linked one.
I don't know that saves you any time to do that though. Like once you've found the item, like it's a good like safety strat if you wipe on your way out kind of thing to me.
I mean, the only time I'd actually keep it is if I found other stuff, like a good amount of money or equipment to write home about. Because otherwise, you're just progressing the encounter table instead of just teleporting to the halfway point down.
So, with where we are right now, there's a small case to be made for checking out what Northwest has in the spike room. You know, get your 3 chests, see if you want to take the spike tiles for any reason, but without any of the runners being in black belt comps, not so much of a reason. I'm going to guess that Papa Ducks is heading straight down to Ordeals, which is an incentivized location. It is a very popular place to get some levels.
I could see him going to Ordeals, and if he feels comfortable, he might continue to Sky. Like, he'd probably just like dive out that first floor of Mirage. You know, spend his spell charges trying to take what few fights he could, and then leaving.
I don't know about a Mirage play. Just because until you have charges of Nuke, which, you know, you're looking at level 10 on the Red Mage to get your 4th level charges, you don't really want to go places where Nuke is sort of required. And there's, I guess, a decent number of houses on Papa Dux's side, so you could use that to get some levels. But, you know, I think getting
Papa
the levels
Dux
in Ordeals
is the
first.
one. Yeah, I 100% agree. I'd do Ordeals before Mirage, but like since I'm already in the area, I'd be thinking about Mirage right after this.
The grand question.
He's got that mage stick. He's got Fire 3 charges.
So here's the grand question: does Papa Dux check the link chest in Ordeals? There's not a huge case to be made for it because he's locked out of exit.
I never check that link or the trap chest unless I have a black belt.
So in compositions where you have exit, so literally just Demon RHK, I think, you can check it, and if the incentive is there, you can just exit out and skip the other chests and the rest of the maze, and it could save you a fair amount of time. So that was a play that I regularly made. Granted, I ran a lot of black belt comps in the spring tournament.
Yeah, I am part of Fighter Gang here.
I can appreciate that.
Like I've always loved the fact that, you know, you can't just punch your way through life. Like, you need some help from your stuff, right? Get the right tools for the job. If someone can just, you know, punch chaos, why haven't they done that in 2,000 years?
We are seeing a pretty kind, I suppose, pillar maze, as Papa Dux is already through the maze. I think a big part of that is that it was the first pillar in the 4-pack. We are at this point very, very sure that this is A-side tiles, which, boring? So one of the other things with the pod flags is that the spike tiles are tri-stated. They can either be the vanilla tiles shuffled around, or they can be what we call B-sides, which are generally tougher encounters and tend to
Oh.
be a little bit more party-friendly.
Vanilla tail, or not vanilla chess, but like ordeals led to tail.
French vanilla.
Yes.
So Hate has picked up his canal and will be off to the races very shortly.
Ooh, a light axe +2, giving Papadux some more versatility against the undead.
Notable finds in the 5th level magic, by the by. We had Wall, Cure 3, and Life on the white magic side. Cake and Lit 3 on the black magic side, but that Lit 3 is in slot 3, which is a little problematic. That
Yeah,
is
that's
a
a
promotion
promotion
locked for the black mage.
Yeah, does that mean it's accessible by the red wizard though?
So I'm going to admit ignorance because spells above 4th level don't exist to me unless they are important. If it's not fast, temper, the first available lock spell, wall, cure 4, heal 3, or a life spell, I don't care.
Not even nuke or fade?
Yes, kind of. But the thing is that, so first off, it doesn't exist in my brain if it's not in the first
Papadux,
section.
he's heading to Mirage. He's level
That's
13.
okay. So he's got a couple nuke charges. That's really the key there.
Just how deep into Mirage will he go? I suspect he'll loot the first floor, come out, save, maybe loot the second floor, and see out where it goes from there.
I think if he's going to make the play to Mirage, you kind of have to commit to it. And at 13 with nuke charges, what I would do is I would take as many encounters as possible, so that when I walk out, I can house and get all my nuke charges back.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a fair number of houses, so.
Although man cats are not ideal to find.
They're nukeable. They're zappable if you have zap. But zap was 6th level black, so not happening. Seeing a whole lot of boring so far out of the first floor of Mirage.
Yeah, this is not looking good.
It's fine.
Ooh, vampires. You can take them out with fire 3 charges and the light axe and mage staff. Getting that experience without spending nukes.
So this is where I start using the nukes, is Bad Men and Nightmares. Looks like Professor Renderer is currently in Earth doing the checks there.
Bad Men are kind of squishy.
That's helpful. I really don't care how squishy they are as long as they die.
Yeah.
Hate also making the play here to Earth.
They died to one low-rolled nuke.
Oh, that's good. So, Hate apparently deciding to check out the spike tiles in the Hall of Giants. Professor Renderer checking out the chests on Earth 1. Meanwhile, Papadux working the way through Mirage, and Demon RHK catching up, getting that tail out of ordeals.
Ooh, got a seafood platter in the Hall of Giants.
Yep.
I am
and
a fan.
mummies. Ooh, strike first against that is real nice.
Meanwhile, Papadux also got a strike first against the Chimera. So getting some good damage to start.
Ooh, brack out of one of the seafood. Ooh. That is not going to be pleasant. Papa Duck's in greater than less than. I didn't see the first two chests, but
They're just.
Oh, there's our
the
herb.
incentive. Oh, he's going.
He's going. He's a man on a mission.
Will Papa Ducks be able to take out Tiamat?
With Nuke, anything is possible.
That's not a lot of nuke.
It doesn't matter because Tia doesn't have enough hit points to survive too many nukes. When we think about the scaling here, it's 100 to 150. Tia's vanilla hit points are what, 1,000? So, up to 1,500. Decent MDEF, so your nukes could, be low roll. But, I would say typically if you're looking at, 6 nukes, you're probably getting it.
Yeah, they could supplement it with probably the Lightning 2s, Fire 3s. Oh, yeah.
Bane at level 2, yeah.
Oh no, Papa Duck! I know Papa Ducks wants to Bane Tiamat.
Will the RNG be in his favor?
It's better for him than it is for me, that's for sure.
So I do want to shout out real quick to Devious RNG, our tracker tonight, who is fantastic and would not have the Bane or Brack luck that we are talking about for Papa Ducks. I hate saying it, but it's true, man.
Fortune favors the bold, and Papa Ducks is one of those bold guys who really likes to lean in on that RNG.
I don't trust a lot of the one-hit kill spells. Zap is about the only one that I actually like, and
I like Bane on a few enemies like Termedusas.
Yeah, but so little in the game resists time. Demon RHK also in Mirage, and like Devious says, kind of hoping that there's an exit after this. Demon does not have the levels that Papa Ducks has walking in here. That Mage Stick not doing enough work, in my opinion, for that pack that Papa Ducks is against. But that is
very healthy. Surviving a Fire 2 and Fire 3.
Good news though, this pack is juicy with 5 Whiz Mummies. That's a lot of XP sitting right there. A little Whiz Mummy that could, just sticking up for himself. Level 17 on Papa Ducks' side. This is, Demon walking out. Which makes me wonder if he either forgot he has exit, didn't buy exit, or doesn't have the charge available. Because I think it was the same level as that Fade, right?
I think so. Ooh,
Ice plus 5. Ooh, that's an endgame weapon.
I mean, it is. You can make it an endgame weapon. I'll say that, especially with that incentivized power bonk. However, that Vorpal, now that's an endgame weapon, right? Hope it rolls up.
Team Vorpal sometimes. A Vorpal plus 5 is a fine weapon, and I can appreciate that. A vanilla Vorpal is very sad.
I don't. With the double weapon crit rate on, I think vanilla Vorpal is fine. I'll take a Masa over it. Unless the enemies are super absorbent, then I'll just hope for the Vorpal crits.
I will take an Ice plus 5 over it, thank you. We'll see. We'll see where that Vorpal ends up. What I am kind of curious about is where we're actually going to find this floater. And Demon giving us our next real incentive item check here by heading over to turn in that herb.
Opinux, however, finds a second ribbon.
Ooh. That's not necessarily a chest that I think a lot of our runners are going to be checking, funny enough, because once you've found that herb, do you really want to be checking every chest in Sky?
I mean, he's skipping Sky 2, so he's likely going for just the dense chest locations.
Devious saying likes Demon's play over Papadux. I understand. Demon definitely did not have the resources to handle this.
I would do the same thing as Papadux in his position. Like, I've got Fire, I've got Nuke, I've got a really good sword, I've got ribbons.
But do you have a floater? Because Demon RHK does. Demon RHK going to be the first one in the air here.
Well, I don't have a floater, but you know, Papadux is a lot more prepared in terms of combat.
Right, and that is valuable. I'm not going to discount that. It's a lot of boxes. It's still indoor, Panzer Dragoon. You are not flying free when you are in Sky. The encounter table being very rude to Demon RHK.
Fighters. That's some good EXP if you can kill them.
Fighters. So my problem with fighters is they're evasive, they have a lot of absorb, and they have decent MDef. So like,
I mean, Papadux's fighter did over 300 damage to him.
With a nice +5.
Yeah, but he has it.
That was an Opal Bracelet +4.
And a Dragon Sword minus. Bane Sword +5. Katana +1. Oh my. Oh.
So we're getting the loadout here. Demon RHK going for promotion. Very understandable. Get those spell slots early. Get the equipment going as fast as possible here. So
Papadux is he's gonna be using Bane, the Bane sword on his thief, you know, try to get that lucky kill. His fighter's gonna be hitting it very hard, and then his mages are, you know, gonna do the pew pew magic.
I am getting the feeling that it's going to be 3 Banes and a swing. That was a giant sword +5. It's a decent sword.
Yeah. Although if
Flame armor +1 for Demon RHK out of the Cardia Grass. Meanwhile, Professor Renderer heading through Earth.
Demon RHK is playing the seed pretty safe because there are no incentives in Cardia, but there
are
is,
a lot of very easy boxes. And you're right here. He was just here to promote, so yeah. No big deal to get these.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a bad play. Ooh, Dragon Armor, but -3.
Still very good.
With 2 ribbons found for Papadux, he won't be missing it. That's what I'll say. Pro Cape -1.
Still a good Pro Cape. I mean, keep that White Mage a little bit safer.
Now Papadux is really hoping for no War Mech.
Yeah. No, the next thing.
And Tiamat.
Yeah, there's no chance of that. no way he has enough characters after a Warmac. Now, because the unrunnables are shuffled, you might be able to run from that Warmac. And decent chance with the Thief, right? Like, you could get away from that.
Yeah.
This pack is going to be some juicy-ish experience, so that's good.
It'd be a couple of thousand, like 2,000? Yeah, 2,400.
I will say I have some words for Papa Ducks about the Sky Maze directions there. Because anybody who heads down is wrong.
I just go right and then up.
I generally am an up and then right kind of guy. So we've got hate going through greater than less than, getting the herb. I think hate's probably going to bounce as well. Nope, he's moving up.
I mean, if Papa Ducks, if these runners can survive, it'll be huge for them. They got a whole bunch of endgame equipment, good levels, ribbons. It's everything you can want if you can live.
So, all right. DBS is not in favor of what Papa Ducks is doing. I understand why. This is getting to be a dangerous play.
He is baning. I know he's gonna bane. Heart of
Yep.
the cards.
That's exactly it, DVS. It's like you are tempered by your past experience of Bane never landing. 35 casts of Bane, you might be able to get it off, but does your party live to that? Papa Ducks has 3 casts of Bane each round. And a worthless Sleep 2 to start. Ineffective first Bane. Swing for 18 damage out of that fighter. Whole lot of nothing. Ineffective on Bane 2. Ineffective on Bane 3. Round 2. Get another Bane sword. Bane. Bane 1 is ineffective. That's actually number 4. Swing and a miss. Bane sword. Ineffective for number 5. That is a hold for stun on Red Mage 4. Ineffective on Bane 6. 7. Ineffective. Our bottom Red Mage is now unstunned. 8. Ineffective.
Ooh, this is the worst Bane luck I've ever seen Papa Ducks have. Ooh,
that was a decent swing, yeah. Poison Smoke terminated there, so that was what, number 9?
Yeah.
That's decent. That's decent.
What's the actual chances for Bane landing? Isn't it like 1 in 4?
I think it's a little lower than that, but I'm going to rely on our experts in chat because I know that there's a Bert somewhere around here who is going to know that off the top of his head. That does, however, mean that Papa Ducks has lit his first orb around the 40-minute mark. And is already
40-minute mark. He's got that herb. He's going to get the floater, and he's in his 20s.
So that, as much as we were very concerned for Papa Ducks' safety, that's actually looking real good for him.
Yeah, now I want to say that because of this play, if Papa Ducks, doesn't last item a lot of these necessary items like Oxyale and doesn't forget where the loot is, then he's in great shape. Yep, there it is. Bert Reynolds, 13%.
I knew you'd have it, Bert. I appreciate you.
That's just around average luck for his Banes.
Yeah, 9 is, just right at that.
1 in 9 would be 11%, yeah.
So, not feeling too bad about that.
Oh, he's going straight for airship.
Hate also making the play. Hate also making the play for Tia, but I don't think he found the Bane sword, and his Black Mage is dead.
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling a lot worse for Hate's position because Hate really rushed through Sky. Found the herb and just bolted up.
Papa Duck's gonna buy himself the loot.
Makes sense. Got a ton of cash while he was in Sky.
Double checking his potion as well.
Well, I mean that hardly matters.
Yeah, I'd buy like 20 houses myself.
What's all this then? Lord Fizzlebeef says. This is a Duck Derby flag set race. We are 43 and change minutes in. We have 10 entrants in total in the race. 4 of them here on stream.
And Waterfall and Excalibur +2.
Oof. All right, so we are very, very safe this seed, is what I'm seeing. This is... The fighter being your melee carry was very much the right choice.
Yeah, now you don't even need to look for Masa. Because, you know, Excal rolling up is pretty big because its crit rate initially is not all that good.
That's true. That Ice +5 headed over to slot 2 of Demon RHK, which I think was a Thief. Or Ninja, rather. And we're getting the Oxyale out of the waterfall. So, not bad. We are...
That's some nice routing.
We are literally a rod from go mode, I think.
Oh, Sarda can always, you know, give it to us.
Nah, he's going to give us the adamant. Give us a reason to talk to some dwarves.
Pesky dwarves always saying hooray. Or lally ho with the Pixel remaster.
So, I don't know if you caught it, but did you watch the Pixel Remaster race last night?
I was in voice call with Shanigan as getting beat down by Chaos for 2 hours.
Oh, that was so sad. The Pixel Remaster using the PSP stats or GBA stats or whatever. So like Chaos with 20k
20 HP and Kiraja.
Well, I mean, the Kiraja is kind of whatever. Like, he had Cure 4 in vanilla, so it was like, oh, I'm healing for full. But, and then on top of that, evasion just being a broken stat, which, you know, that's painful.
Oh, I just thought about this. Oh, Power Bonk. Yeah, Vapidux is set in terms of combat.
Talking to a wall a few times. Just for good measure. Good evening, Courant. It is good to see you.
Now, we've got... what is it? A wart... Or, sorry, I should say a knight with Excalibur +2, Ribbon +2, whatever body armor you can throw on. He's going to have that Dragon Armor -3. So yeah, the Dragon Armor -3 Power Gauntlets. This is a perfect night for Fighter Seed. The game knew and forced it on everyone. Just witness the power of fighters.
So, one thing that I did not catch, did Hate finish off Tia, or did he wipe?
I mean, he doesn't have the air orb, so I would hope that...
That seems like a wipe.
Oh, well, the Devious RNG missed it.
Yeah, there's been a lot to pay attention to.
Yeah, I typically do best looking at, you know, two runner streams.
It's a learning experience for us all. Demon RHK
we're
heading in.
Papa Duck's promoting.
Demon RHK heading into Onrak. I believe has the Oxyale from the waterfall. So Sea Shrine is incentivized. There's kind of a path you take with the random incentive in this dungeon, which is to say you go Kraken side, and you take every box on the way, and you hope that you don't have to go Mermaid side. If we are in the position where we have to go Mermaid side, we're not totally opposed in the sense that we have the key. It is probably going to be fine. Life 2 in our level 7 magic shop in Onrak. Very nice. Whole lot of nothing in the black shop.
Yeah, Fire 2 at level 7. Ooh.
So Demon RHK actually kind of hopes, though probably doesn't know it, hopes that the incentive is on Mermaid's side because he's the only runner on stream that has exit. I think, yep, this is a play that I made a lot in pods myself, is check that right chest first, just so you know if you can stop checking chests, and certainly with the loadouts that some of our runners are seeing, you're done checking chests once you get your incentive items, right? So I think that that's going to be a pretty significant thing.
Now, a lot of our runners are in that on-rank area, except for Papa Ducks. He's doing Lefane.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind it. Lefane is kind of an annoying check, but, you know, you tent at your airship and you reset if it's garbage, right? But if it's the rod, then he's in go mode, and he knows he doesn't have to check C.
Yeah, the other thing it could be a fetch quest item like the crown or the bottle. Oh wait,
He's
no,
already got the bottle. Or the bottle was in ice. Hate's the only one with the bottle so far.
Yep. But, you know, he could hope for a fetch quest into that. So if he sees either, you know, rod itself or a fetch quest item, then he's not going to reset out. I might reset out if it was Masa.
That's the Vorpal. He's going to take it. Vorpal for one of the reds.
Oh.
And it's -2.
Yeah.
Team Vorpal, not this time.
I mean, on a red mage, why not?
Oh, I hear saying that Hate beat Tiamat with a Brack. That is actually great news. Now, the big question is, when does Hate head in the direction of Elf to get that floater?
That's a good question. Although this play to, you know, go to Waterfall since you're already on the northern continent makes sense. Except when you realize that the northern continent is, you know, like right next to Elfland, you just go up.
So the trip from Mirage area, that desert, to Elfland is a major pain by boat. So I don't begrudge that. Some talk about recent luck with Vorpals and Katanas and their rolls. Did you say that -2 was as low as the weapons could go? Because that means that that's a minimum rolled Vorpal.
I can check that. Yep, worst possible Vorpal.
I saw a Vorpal +5 recently, and I can't remember what seed it was in. So, you know, sometimes it rolls nice, and when it rolls nice, it's real nice. TNT on Demon RHK's side, on the Kraken side down. So, everybody's going to find it right away.
So that's reducing the advantage of having a white mage.
Masa -1. That's a chest that I don't think a lot of people are going to check once they've got their TNT.
You know, considering we've got Power Bonk, a lot of runners have Power Bonk. I don't remember if everyone has it, and Papa Ducks is going to have, or runners are going to have X-Cal +2. It's not a huge loss if they miss Masa -1.
So, Demon RHK showing off that remembering the beginning of the seed knowledge and remembering the Red Mage has X-Cal as a bonus So swap the Masa onto the fighter, swap the X-Cal down to the red mage.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much, though, because, red mage is going to be casting stuff like Nuke.
So here's kind of the challenge that you have with it. The Masa is extremely good. It's a very good sword. The X-Cal with its weapon damage bonus against anything that has a weakness or, is typed is also very good. It's kind of a toss-up in some situations. We see Professor Renderer heading to Mermaid's side, so it's going to be a lot of loot and a whole lot of,
Yeah, hopefully you find that third ribbon to make up for it. Or, it just resets out.
Devious asking if Kraken 1
Yes.
is hit by the X-Cal. Yes, just like the Coral Sword. Is a sea critter.
Yep. Papa Duck's throwing an extra ice sword onto his red wizard instead of that purple.
It's funny just how dense this waterfall was.
For a second, I thought Papa Ducks was just going to skip the third. Is that third ribbon? Yeah, it's the third ribbon.
Gets juked by the robot. Demon RHK heading to go light a water orb.
X-Cal. What?
It's okay.
I mean, ice plus 5, it's great and all, but it's X-Cal plus 2.
So, on Papa Duck's side, there's 2 ice plus 5s, a Bane plus 4, the Vorpal minus 2, which is like whatever. He's potentially going to run into the Masa minus 1.
I mean, consider, and power bonk and a dream, anything works.
Hate getting that Masa. That's a big fine for Hate. Throws it on the Thief since not promoted yet, doesn't have the airship to go turn in the tail yet. All right, Demon RHK up against a fish monster.
Remembered he couldn't hold it, and he went back for X-Cal.
Okay, I have to admit I missed my own meme. All right, did Professor Renderer turn bubbles into bubbles? Did we get a carbonated bubbles? Anybody check that for me?
Not a fan of carbonation in water or drinks in general.
I mean, you can have all your preferences. Yeah.
Mermaid, an actual mermaid to a bit of bubbles.
So Kraken did Kraken things, but still got taken down by Demon RHK. I'm not surprised. There's a lot of gear on those characters at this point, so
especially the promoted ones. I just realized the top 2 runners on stream are the promoted ones, and the bottom 2, like literally on the bottom, are not.
Yeah, and that's just a matter of routing decisions. At this point, Professor Renderer has full cleared the mermaid side, I believe.
Didn't see anything of major note to come out of mermaids.
I did not see anything particularly interesting there.
Hate taking on Kraken, giving him a good old bracken.
That just slapped a fighter into very bad places.
Uh-oh. Brack is not working. Uh-oh. This bracket better work.
Hey, yes. we did it, chat.
Clutch brack.
I don't believe in the Brack strats when I have Nuke at the same level. I'm a scrub like that, I guess. I know it's like 25% or something like that, but much like Devious, I don't have RNG on my side most of the time.
Yeah, no. Like, Oh, TNT into Crown. That's funny.
Not quite Lazy Dwarfs, but close. Fizzle, is that some sort of like Gurren Lagann logic? Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the Brack that believes in you.
I mean, hey. Can't say anything about Brack just yet, but it worked for our runners in Bane.
I think that is 2 bosses that Hate has taken down with Brack then.
Ooh, Crown is Rod.
That's pretty substantial right there. So we now have go mode for Demon RHK when he remembers to go buy his loot.
Yep.
Now Demon does have the slight disadvantage of being one of the airborne runners that has not yet cleared air. There's Hate getting the floater finally. And this is that loot purchase. So, the unfortunate truth.
Once Papa Duck finds this TNT, he'll be on the way to go mode.
So we got Demon RHK in go mode, needs to clear 3 dungeons. Papa Duck's close enough to go mode. I mean,
he's one item chain away from go mode.
Yep, here's the TNT. Now, I don't know if he checks and gets that Masa, because he just walked by the other easy chest in the hallway. It's one of those chests you could leave. It's not really extra steps to get it.
Yeah, I think Papa Ducks is more than happy with his class-specific weapons that rolled up.
Yeah.
Although, wait, he finds it.
Like I said, it's not like it's an extra step to get it. Now he's checking the other chests too, but who cares about those?
He's not taking a trap title though. So he's just like, it's fine. I'll grab these chests. And every single one of his fighters has a strong sword. We've got Ice +5, X-Cal +2, Katana +1, and Awesome -1.
These are all very good weapons. I would have settled for that Ice +5. I mean, again...
Never settle. Always aim high.
It's nice when you can find it. However, you gotta go fast. And sometimes that means you skip boxes. Hate finds the Vorpal, immediately resets out. To heck with that trash.
So just to get this straight, these are the 4th week of Duckling Derby flags that we got here?
Yep, so we're going to be seeing the Duckling Derby race on Sunday night, I believe 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and for those of you... am I allowed to spoil the current Duckling rankings?
I mean, sure, why not? They're publicly posted.
Yeah, alright, so for those of you who don't know, Papa Ducks on stream is currently the #1 seed by a bit of a margin. So, if these races keep going well for him like this one is right now, we could be looking at a Papa Duck Supreme.
It could very well be the case. We shall see. Hate getting that promotion. We see Papa Ducks moving in on the quest chain here. So, Fizzle asking about who seems to be in the lead. Papa Ducks and Demon RHK are pretty close, but the advantage to Papa Ducks is having already beaten Tia 1. That said, the charge up Mirage and Sky. The hardest part about it is that there are unrunnables in this version of the flags, so...
The other
You know.
major advantage to Papa Ducks is just that, he's much higher. He's more ready for chaos. And if you saw for the Pixel remake, chaos can be a bit tough sometimes.
Well, Pixel Remake versus FFR, it's a very different game.
You never know. Could nuke your party and then fully heal itself.
Demon RHK is fighting a Lich and is done fighting a Lich. Professor Render has found the rod. I think Professor Renderer went down into C, got to the TNT, and left. So here we have Papa Ducks taking out Astos and done. So there's the rod for Papa Ducks. So Papa Ducks now in go mode.
And
Demon headed in to the volcano.
see, if you want to just walk in the lava, just walk diagonally.
It is interesting getting used to the diagonal walking. I've been playing through the FF2.
Why would you do that to yourself? It's FF2.
I actually like that game. So hush you.
What? I mean, to be fair, it's got a really good story for an NES RPG.
It does. It was an experiment. It didn't necessarily experiment well. Devi is asking, which is faster, Earth or Sky? I think that is a toss-up.
I think
in straight routing, Sky is a little faster. Like if you're just powering through to the boss. Now, the thing is, Demon might actually want to take a couple encounters. A little bit lower level overall. And so those casters are unfortunately squishy at the moment.
Meanwhile, Papa Ducks can just swing at everything. Lich comes up, he won't even need to buff, he just swings. He'll probably one-round Lich.
Hate talks to the Hooray Dwarf to kill. Walks out, walks back in to talk to the Hooray Dwarf again to kill him. Hate, you are a fantastic human being. Put that dwarf out of his misery.
Ooh. Asps cracking the red page.
That is a phrase that you have to be very careful in saying with a restream partner. So if Papa Ducks didn't have 3 ribbons, that would have been a lot scarier than it actually is.
I'm sitting here, I was like, wait. I don't even realize how that could be interpreted wrong. Oops. Sorry, SpeedGaming ahead of time.
You said it correctly. It's, you got to make sure you enunciate that P.
See, I did plenty of debate back in high school. I've learned to pronounce things correctly. Otherwise, I will probably be canceled on Twitter.
Davey is pointing out the Demon RHK getting some levels on the metal slime grind on the Agama tile, which is super handy. White shirt in the vampire box, not bad. Papa Duck's checking the Lich Armory. That's surprising to me.
What? Why would you check the Lich Armory? What are you looking for?
That is exactly my question for Papa Ducks. We'll see if we get him in for an interview. There was some talk about maybe not. Guribs with Glare? What is this seed?
I might, if he doesn't accept the interview, I probably would just DM him that one single question.
So,
what are
Fizzle,
you looking for?
Fizzle, I want you to know that Papa Ducks has 3 ribbons, a Masa and Excal, 2 Ice Flives, a Bane +4, and threw away the Vorpal, I think, maybe, and a Katana.
Yeah, +1 Katana.
There is a golf bag of weapons in his party and 3 ribbons. Katana was +1.
Yeah, we've got Dragon Armor Power Bonk. Like, what is he looking for? Is he looking for new spells to learn? Is he
That
looking
only
for
works in FF2 where you get spells on books.
There's also an FF3.
You're right.
Yeah, FF.
Hi, Lich. Oh, Lich lived through 2 swings from Papa Dux's party, not living through the 3rd. Gets a trollish giant on the way to the orb.
Honestly, I'm most excited to see the FF3 going after, because like, you know, we've seen the first one as with that race like last night or 2 nights ago. Wait, was it last night?
Yeah, it was last night.
It went so late that I forgot.
Oh, Demon didn't buy Exit. Okay.
Exit was only like 700 gold.
It was in Elfland, though, and Elfland is expensive. It's okay. We're getting carry here.
You'll
Now,
free to returnable.
so the thing I will say is kind of a downside right now for Demon RHK. One, he didn't do the shopping in Crescent to get the spells there, which would have been very helpful for speeding up this area. Heal 3 speeds up Volcano so much. Because he had to take that grind on the metal slimes, he's sort of thrown part of that advantage to the wind that he had coming in here. This carry is going to go down pretty quick. You know, maybe another round.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that now Papa Dux and Demon are comparable in terms of levels, but Papa Dux is just so decked out in his equipment.
Demon's got pretty decent equipment as well. Hate going for the triple crown of killing the Hooray Dwarf.
Monster.
Demon now headed down to light an air orb. Or not. Remembering to go by level 6. The channel for the Pixel Race was the Final Fantasy Randomizer channel. If you did not know, Eleanor Lamb TV.
Yep.
Final Fantasy Randomizer has its own Twitch channel, a fairly recent development.
So if you want to check it out, you can go look at the VOD, which was almost 6 hours long.
Thank you for posting that, DVS.
Yep.
All right. Papa Dux still was checking chests.
What is he looking for?
Maybe another like giant gold chest, just so that he can Scrooge McDuck through it at the end of the seed.
Well, he's already got like 6-digit money.
It's never enough. Isn't that the lesson right there?
After buying all of his spells, he's got almost 300,000.
It's not Jeff Bezos money. That's still at least 4 digits short.
Hey, those aren't dollars; those are gold coins. So take that into consideration.
I mean, are they gold coins? They're gil. It could be like a credit card.
Well, this is before it was gold, and now it's just G. Gil wasn't.
No, it could be in thousands. Durant, the minute that anybody has Mansa Musa gold, there's going to be some words. Off stream, we have our first place finisher, Dead Pulse, the current reigning Duckling Supreme, with a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, 23 seconds. GG's Dead Pulse.
Yeah, Dead Pulse is not a part of the Duckling Derby because he's already graduated. But,
he's like head of the Duckling Derby. He's the teacher. He's got to provide lessons to the ducklings, and then pass on that title in just a couple of days.
Yeah, with how this is going, I'm putting my money down on Papa Ducks. Validating his run. Let's go. Getting more Scrooge McDuck strats. You can't be mad at Papa Ducks for checking those boxes, genius.
Yeah, you can.
Come on,
There's better ways to validate. There's better ways to validate. You can use the Asher Trunk. You can use the Vampire box, which is, I think, the Fizzle box. Asher Trunk, if you're not familiar, is the one just north of Vampire. That one up there. It always pays out. Sometimes it pays out like 30 gold, but it does pay out.
Doesn't pay out as in it's always money.
I have gotten a Masa +5 out of it before. Fizzle, just saying the Vampire box, you said that's one of your budget validations. Papa Duck's on the charge through the Temple of Fiends Revisited, approaching Lich Floor, Hate lighting a fire orb. Hate parking his airship in the objectively wrong spot. It's going to say that. There is a correct place to land for the volcano.
We're talking about boxes that like completely ruined runs. I think the boxes that ruined me it's always the crap cake gambit boxes.
CC Gambits are great. Warmac on Demon RHK side, man of the people, giving us that robot chicken.
I mean, was he trying to find it?
Maybe. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It's here right now, and it's going to die.
Well, if the Masa hits.
Seems like it's doing.
Masa missed last turn.
It's okay. We got this.
How do you miss a giant tank with a sword? Like, how could you miss? It was 3 feet in front of you.
That was 2 people down to a zap. But that's a zap that's not in Topher.
Surprised anyone went down to zap because of its low accuracy.
We'll say right now, this Warmac is looking a little bit more Gundam than I was expecting. But it does go down. That fighter and the White Wizard are going to do pretty well with that. And we've got Life and Life 2 charges. I don't know why you're spending regular Life when you have Life 2 charges and like nothing else at that level.
Yeah, it's just straight up faster to just use Life 2. And it's better for item management because you'll need those heal pods over. Are you one of those people that like always diligently gets 99 heal pods whenever you go into Topher?
100%. Unless, sorry, there's an exception. If I am in a situation where I have forced white mages on me, because I don't typically take white mages, usually there's enough healing in there somehow that I don't necessarily care as long as I'm like above 70.
Typically, I run like my 2 favorite mages to take around are red and white because the red mage can learn the early levels of black magic.
So yeah, and that's the thing is like in these flags, red mage is very good because it's good enough at everything kind of thing. And the white mage doesn't really have the obligation that you would see for it in tougher flag sets.
Yeah.
I tend to be red mages and black mages for days. And the main reason for the black mage is just the earlier spell slots, like getting the extra slots early so that you can, start moving. So while we've been talking about this, Papa Duck's in a little bit of an awkward position with the bottom red mage going down.
I mean, he does have 2 red mages, so hopefully things work out for him.
That was 400-ish damage from Kraken after the first evasion stack went up. Gonna do another white shirt. I look at this as almost like a speed and power type of situation. Yes. Now it is time for the nukes.
Hit it before he hits you.
He's still going for another white shirt. Okay, Ice 2 is doing Ice 2 things, which is not a bad thing. We see Hate the 13th also in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Demon RHK doing some final shopping. And Professor Renderer taking out Ice Cave, getting that bottle. Papadux onto the Tiamat floor. Still has 3 characters up.
Yeah, optimal place to use a nuke here. Those evil men are gonna go down. However, the nightmare is not ending.
You know, it's okay. Even as evasive as nightmares typically are, that it went down.
Hey, Tiamat. Tiamat's not hitting as hard as Kraken, but I suspect Tiamat's pretty angry for, like, you spam Bane to kill me.
So, Tia 2 is kind of like the slow burn boss a lot of the time. There's a zap that's not doing anything because 3 ribbons, right? So we're okay there.
Blizzard coming out. Again, ribbons helping.
I worry a lot about Tia 2 because if Tia 2 rolls, relatively tanky, then you can see a lot of skills and spells. Papadux taking out Tia 2 still has 3 Light Warriors up for Chaos. And wow, that is a nice raid of 97 folks from SpeedGaming 2. Welcome to this Final Fantasy Randomizer race. We are an hour and 19 minutes in. We have 1 off-stream finisher, but we are still looking for second place and beyond. All 4 of our runners on stream making moves, making progress here.
Yep. Current. Is that 2 runners in total right now on stream? Yep. You've got 8 and carry 4, which is like 3 fours away from the final pause. However, Papadux challenging Chaos.
I want to point something out on the Professor Renderer side of things. I don't know if you've looked over there recently. Professor Renderer is basically in go mode. Just needs to go buy the loot from the Elfland item shop. So Professor Renderer could take this as a floaterless seed and get on out. Yeah, Professor Renderer has not yet been to Mirage. Did not get the herb out of greater than less than yet to go get that floater from the Elf Prince. Demon RHK doing a little bit of encounter manipulation.
Here. Eight has got to end this fight fast.
Papadux, big swing, 742 out of the fighter there against Chaos.
Oh, it's second nuclear out of carry 2.
Ooh, that's rough.
So as long as this Chaos fight goes well, I think Papadux has got this in for second place. Yep.
And terminated. So with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, 24 seconds, Papadux is our second place finisher in this race.
And
GG.
more notably, first place Duckling finisher.
This is true.
Duckling Supreme isn't a Duckling. That's like, a Duckling that's graduated, became a platypus.
So I do want to say with Dead Pulse, so Dead Pulse is champion from the Duck Derby in the winter, followed up with the double anti-bingo tournament win, so championed there as well. and then did something like 150 pod practices before the spring tournament started. He was streaming like 3 or 4 a day. So,
All right.
We are joined in the booth by our first place on stream, second place overall finisher, Papa Ducks. GG, Papa Ducks. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Hanging in. It's been an exciting seed. How did you feel about it?
I felt pretty good. I found the floater a little bit later than I like to, but I'm pretty sure everybody did, being locked behind the herb, which was in Sky. And I felt like I was moving really fast until I hit that wall where I didn't have the Oxyel or the rod. And had to chance the waterfall dive, hoping that the Oxyel was there, which it was.
Yep. Now I've got to ask you the important questions here. What are you looking for in Earth 4?
I was hoping to find the defense sword. I would have felt more comfortable going into Topu with the defense sword.
Okay.
I did find the white shirt, which helped a lot. I may or may not have gotten through without the white shirt.
So one thing that you did that the other on-stream runners, Hate followed your example pretty well, but you were very aggressive about the Mirage and Sky play. While some of the other runners, I know Demon RHK for sure, got the herb and got out. You went straight up to Tia.
I figured I had 2 Bane casters and found the Bane sword. The odds were in my favor of taking her out.
I gotcha.
So
okay.
For it.
Yeah, I always can attest that you are one to lean into that RNG for insta death.
For the early Kraken and Tia kills, I will, yeah.
And that paid off big tonight, considering you are the first place Duckling to finish. The first place winner, being the previous Duckling Supreme.
Right.
I mean, soon to be previous. Soon. He is still Duckling Supreme until the new one is crowned.
That is fair. But, it's getting close.
It's true.
His time is ending. He's old Duck.
I'm starting to catch up to him. I'm not there yet, but I'm starting to.
So while we've been talking, third place off stream, we have Ailmarkin finishing with a time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, 25 seconds. Get your G's out in chat for Ailmarkin. So, Papa Ducks, as you have gone through this seed and others like it, what advice do you have for your fellow Ducks going into the Derby this Sunday?
Just get some practice seeds in. I'm extremely comfortable with this flag set because I practiced this flag set endlessly before the spring tournament. But get a few practice seeds in. Just be comfortable with your routing because the routing is a little bit different with the free canoe and no free ship. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward flag set. Other than that,
absolutely, and I mean, even the tweaks that were made, I think, having unrunnables and that malice, they're not really huge changes, and certainly with all of the seeds having unrunnables throughout the Derby, there's not a lot to adjust for there. But for people who were involved in the spring tournament or ran pod flags after the spring tournament, it's still a little bit of a shift.
It's a little bit, but you don't approach your routing much differently because of it. You're going to want to try to rely on more encounter manipulation. I was fortunate with that seed. There was a nice long run off the hard reset. I took advantage of quite a few times. But you're not really approaching your routing much differently, and that's the most important thing, is to know where you want to go and be firm in that choice and go.
Absolutely.
And don't walk out without picking up the X-Cow like I did in Waterfall and have to turn around and go back for it.
We were wondering about that.
It's just like, are you satisfied with the nice +5, or did you forget you can't carry it?
Yeah, I forgot I couldn't carry it. I adjusted my inventory for the ribbon that was there, and then forgot to adjust my inventory for the X-Cow.
To be fair, you had a golf bag of swords available to you. That
Yes.
at the end.
That's probably the best description of it. Like, what should I kill Chaos with? I got an X-Cal, I got this Ice Sword, I got this Bane Sword, and then I have this, Masamune.
Yeah, I was fortunate. Found the katana relatively early on the ninja, so I knew he was going to be useful. I didn't have to dan him off.
So, just a little update on where our other on-stream runners are at. Hate the 13th got bounced by Carry 2 with, was it double nuclear?
Yep.
And
double
decided
nuclear carry.
decided it was time to go get some additional levels, is using the seafood party platter in the Hall of Giants. Demon RHK still making the charge through the Temple of Fiends Revisited, first dive, and to pull Carry, or Tia 2. And Professor
Meanwhile-
Renderer has taken out Carry 1 and is continuing a floaterless routing with basically go mode once the...
Yep. He already bought the loot, so he is in
yeah.
go mode. Yeah. So, do you have any sort of like moments where you had big regrets this seed pop ducks besides the X-Cal?
No, not any big regrets.
How'd you feel seeing Exit and Fade were White Mage locked?
I was okay with it. White Mage had something that I didn't like as far as, or the Black Mage did, so I wanted the Red Mage instead of the Black Mage. I think the Black Mage had -4 MP.
The Black Mage had no ribbon.
No ribbon, that's what it was. Yeah.
And the White Mage had -30 hit points, so...
So yeah,
kind of okay.
I just
White
decided to go
Mages
to
have
Red
good
Mages.
good HP growth. I would probably still stick with my good old Demon's White Mage is a little bit dead.
You know, these things happen from time to time. Meanwhile, Goats Pirate finishing 4th place off stream with a time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, 56 seconds. GG Goats Pirate.
Anyway, as I was saying, I am one to always like lean into that White Mage, Red Mage to hope for great spells early levels.
I do a lot of that too because I play a lot of Black Belt, and before the 3/4 Magic Defense nerf, I never promoted, so I needed the lower level spells. So I used to do that a lot as well. I've gotten more into so I used to play Black Mage and Red Mage. I've been playing a lot more White Mage recently, but I just decided to go with the 2 Red Mages today.
The 2 Red Mages really paid off considering you found that Excalibur and all of those other swords, except the Vorpal -2. No one likes Vorpal -2.
Yeah, I think that Red Mage was out damaging my fighter and Topher until Chaos, well, until Tia, or until Kraken, when I started using the white shirt.
Yeah, and I mean, just having the memory that the X-Cal is available for the Red Mage this seed.
Yeah.
A lot of those equipment blurses are easy to forget unless you name the character after the equipment blurs.
Like the equipment blursings are like the biggest like change in your play style unless it's like something really like a really bad curse.
So it's the blessings that always get me on that. The equipment blessings are so easily forgotten, right? Like, you're going to remember that your fighter has thief swords, right? That's going to be super easy to remember. You may not be taking a fighter if you see that particular curse. But remembering, oh yeah, I've got the katana blessing on my white mage, and I happen to bring a white mage this seed. Like, you know, who does that, right?
I do that.
I've remembered all of once that my white mage could use the katana.
Yeah, the blursings on the fighter this seed kind of confused me when I was picking my party. He had plus 40 vitality, black belt vitality blessings, and then black mage hit points. I'm like, how is this even going to work out? I didn't know. I had no idea what his HP was going to look like at the end.
Gigantic. because even with the lower hit point growth, having
Yeah.
the giant VIT bonus and VIT scaling.
Yeah. Yeah, it turned out fine. I figured it would, but I wasn't positive. I was just, two hit point blessings and then one curse, and I didn't know how they were going to offset.
I mean, 2 is bigger than 1.
Yes, it is.
Meanwhile, we have Demon RHK going against Chaos right now. We're seeing Temper strats and Lock strats going out. The Fighter being our main source of damage. Get a Fire 3 coming out of Chaos, doing Fire 3 things. That Red Mage is looking a little sad right now. Heel Helm out of the Ninja.
Wow. That's quite the strategy.
Ice 3 comes out. You know, it's like Drink strats, but different.
I don't think a heal helm's going to help at this rate.
Nuke Swing coming out. And terminated. Demon RHK finishes with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, 10 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. Heel Helm strats.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see the day. Well, it wasn't actually useful in the end, but like it looked good.
It gave 12 hit points to that Red Mage. Let's, call it for what it is. We are joined in the booth by Demon RHK. GG's, Demon. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. For how long I've been out of it, I cannot be unhappy with that.
I have to start with the obvious. Heel Helm strats. How are we feeling about that?
I mean, Chaos wasn't evasive. The locks weren't going to do me any good. I needed something to do. It was either that or just, start shoving potions down the fighter's throat.
Or, nuke him.
Shh.
Hey, it's the nuke that killed him, not the fighter.
Yeah.
So, I believe you were the only person on stream that had a White Mage in the lineup. What was your decision to bring the White Mage?
I didn't want to get locked out of good spells, and then I proceeded to not pick up Exit at 4, because I completely had spaced on it. And it didn't really matter that Fade was white locked, because Nuke was at 4, and much cheaper. So, I just like having a White Mage for just the security blanket.
I agree with that, 100%.
Especially being forced into Fighter Red as the two forces on there. Otherwise, if it wasn't for the Fighter, I might have foregone the White Mage in favor of a second Red if I was going Black Belt strats. But being forced to Fighter, I didn't want to bring a Black Belt and a Fighter.
I gotcha.
Hate is getting nuked by Carry again.
Meanwhile, off stream, we have another finisher, Dusk Plume, finishing in 6th place with a time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 18 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Dusk Plume. Hate has taken down Carry 2 and is starting to chug. Someday we'll get the healing keg.
I mean, then again, the skill of menuing as quickly as Hate is right now, that's an art. And it's very good for, those runners that like to save extra time.
Yeah, and certainly getting the rhythm where you're not losing the frames on that, because it can be very easy to fall out of the rhythm and have extra time per potion. So, it's as much the menuing to the right character as it is timing it to hit at the right point in the frame rule. We see Professor Renderer heading over with the herb to get the floater. So not going to be completing this floater list, but very much could have. We see it Kraken 2 on Hate the 13th side. Demon, as we're watching our other two on-stream runners continue, what are your lessons to the Ducklings who are going to be running these flags in the Derby on Sunday night?
This is a modified pod, and I really love these flags because they can get so open to you. It's like you're saying, this is a floater list, but don't be afraid to take gambles. I'm like, hey, let's go sky at like level 7. Oh, look, an herb. Oh, look, a floater. And it just worked out really well. It's all about just, committing to your party early, especially with your blurses. Like, I was pretty much committed to a walking grind. It's a fighter, and I skipped dice, so I lost out on like 6 tiles.
So while you were headed in and you grabbed the herb and walked out, which I honestly thought you had purchased exit and you were going to just jump out that way, but, we talked about that. While you were doing that, Papa Ducks actually just did a charge straight up to Tia with 2 Bane casters and found the Bane sword on the way. So I think that Mirage Sky play is something that I think a lot of runners can kind of learn from. It's a gamble, right? But it can be a very effective gamble, whether you're going in just to dip your toe in, get the incentive, or to try to dive straight through.
Yeah. Papa Ducks' play was pretty much high risk, high reward, and it paid off for him in this race.
Yeah. So a little bit more behind that. We had a outstanding hero run off the power cycle. I knew with how the encounters broke down that I could pretty much loot out all of Mirage 1 with like 2 encounters, and I could, worst case scenario, loot one half of the floor, wipe out, and loot the other half if need be to look for the incentive. And I sunk cost that I'd at least check Mirage 2, but I definitely at level 7 didn't have the bravery to go all the way up. But hats off to you on that, Ducks. But, it's just a lot of being able to, hey, at least I'm going to loot here and find what's going on.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think I would have done it at level 7. I think I was at like 11 or 12 by the time I got there.
I believe you were 12 because you already had a nuke charger too.
Yeah. And I gained a few more levels right there on Mirage 1 using those nuke charges. Just went back out and housed and went back in. So, yeah, at level 7, I would have done the same thing as you. I would have gone in, found the incentive, and got out.
I think you might have taken a few more encounters along the way in ordeals that paid out. So, Professor Renderer turning in the bottle for the ruby. It's a very sad time.
Oh no.
I understand the logic. Also, took the long way out to the left. There is an exit to the right from the ferry.
No, hate beats Tiamat 2, but wipes to vampires.
Ooh.
They almost got me. 2 steps away from the stairs, they almost took my fighter down.
And with that, Hate the 13th has forfeited from the race. GG's in chat to Hate. This was a good run for Hate. Also did a very, very brave skydive and took out Tia with Brack or Bane, one of the two. Hate, I completely understand. Completely understand.
So
GG's
unable to interview because dog. One of the best reasons I've seen to not take an interview. Totally not hiding the salt of wiping to carry to nuke.
We all deal with our Tophers as they come up, right? But you got to respect the pup time.
Yeah, I recently got puppies myself, and yeah.
Was there a good grind tile anywhere?
Hate took the party grind of the seafood party platter and the Hall of Giants, but we were on A-side tiles, so not really. I don't.
There was for an early grind tile. If you could, if you got exit, you could get to the Mirage tile and grind on Whiz Mummies.
Yep, the Whiz Mummy tile was at the Q block. But yeah, we didn't find. And then you found the metal slimes on the Agama tile, which was not bad.
I mean,
nothing solo grind.
They were ambushy. They first turn cast slow, which is more slow to wasting your real time than your character attacks. And then after they ambush you and waste you with 6 slows, they start casting fire too. It just wasn't very efficient.
So Professor Renderer seems to have forgotten that the loot was for sale.
No,
That's
he
my
bought
guess.
it. He bought it.
He did? Okay.
So I'm not he Professor Render might just be like really indecisive what he wants to do next. Because he was like, do I go to the northern continent?
Checking to see
did he
what was
just-
there and did not take the bonk.
What? Why?
You know, I'm
And he's heading he was heading right back to the dwarf cave. And then yeah, I'm just
it's
not
spell
sure.
time. It's spell time. Nope, it's
That slab.
slab translate time.
Oh boy, can't wait to get that Vorpal -2, am I right?
So, good news if you skipped ice. Ice led to the bottle, which led to the ruby. So, whole lot of nothing there. So, yeah, congrats on skipping that if you skipped that. We're just, getting a couple checks out of the way. I understand there's a sort of a completionist mindset that a lot of ducks have. And I certainly had to break those habits myself. I still check too many boxes.
Professor Render might not have the Oxyale? Or is
No,
it just
Professor Renderer went to Waterfall already.
Huh.
Because Professor Renderer walked down into sea, cleared out Mermaid's side, went down to
Oh,
Kraken's
yeah.
side, got the TNT, and left. So, I think it's, do I feel ready to do these dungeons, might be the question.
Yeah, I think Professor Render being last one on stream, I think he's been playing this seed as like one of the most safe of runners that, yeah, as compared to Papa Duck's killing Tiamat. just charge the Tiamat, guys, it'll work.
Hate did the same thing. Hate actually checked fewer boxes. So Papa Ducks had all the gear in the world. Hate had
Bane and Brack.
Brack and a Dream.
Yeah.
Dead Pulse talks about the Pocket Full of Dreams quite often. And, the Pocket Full of Dreams counts for something because it turns out that the Pocketfuls of Dreams somehow make Brax land. I think Devious needs to invest.
If I don't have like melee buffing spells of any kind, then I'll lean into it. But I like the good old tried and true, just hit them harder.
So what you're saying is that you're hoping that the luck averages out, huh, DVS?
Speaking of co-op, we are going to be having the co-op tournament starting very soon. Let's see what we're determining. Tomorrow and the day after, we're going to be having play-in races, 2 versus, well, not 2 versus 2, or races with teams of 2 are going to be competing on July 30th and July 31st to see how they seed in the co-op tournament. And then a bit later, the tournament will actually begin in single elimination style. I had the dates for the actual like co-op tournament. Hold on, let me. Where is it?
Also, not that far off on the horizon, the Fall League starting to be rumbled about. So keep an eye out for that. If you are at all interested in the randomizer, come check us out. FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can join the Discord there. Come hang out with a very open and welcoming community. The Duckling program that we were going through the Derby for, race 4 of the Derby this Sunday. The Duckling program is our way of getting new runners into the game. And it's a relatively unique program within the randomizer space. So, we have lots of people who are very willing to help to get people into the randomizer and having fun with us. There are lots of ways to play. Racing is not the only way. So, come join us, hang out, figure out what you enjoy within the randomizer.
Or what you don't enjoy in the Seeds in Progress channel.
There's a fair amount of that too.
I just ran a practice seed earlier today where it was a party draft of 5 characters. Fighter, 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 thief, black belt.
I had a match in the round of 64 against Sho Fukamachi where we agreed to 4 forced. And we had 2 fighters, 2 black belts as our forced party. And that seed took over 2 hours.
Yep.
Fall League. Goats Pirate, I'm going to have to lean on people who know things more than me. I know that there's some sort of team-esque sort of thing with that, but I do not know the details on it. I just know that it's coming up in the fall, and that it's a league.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Fall League myself either. I am part of these ducklings, although I'm not in the Duckling Derby myself. I have been participating more in our Iron Goal League, which, unlike a tournament, climb the ranks based on when you want to race. Challenge those above you, like you, Devious. I'm coming for you. Yeah, we still have to schedule our race.
Iron Goal is one of the many different ways that folks enjoy the randomizer here.
Is that turn 1 Brack?
It's a dead Kraken, is what I know us to have. So
That's... And these fiends have just been killed by insta-death RNG. I wouldn't be too happy if I was the fiends. That's why the carry got revenge by double nuking.
Laurent saying that it was in fact a first turn Brack, which is quite fantastic. On the note of the Fall League, Devious putting some of that information into chat here. I don't know because I joined after the Fall League. I was in the Winter Duckling class, and I joined the Discord roughly in November, like week 2 or 3 of the boot camp last time around. So 4 races a week, teams of 4, 1 runner per team runs.
So that gives me the idea, like, would the team just, like, choose the runner best fitted for, like, these flag sets of every race?
Or, who happens to be available that day. There's a lot of things to it.
Because I do like that idea, just like, hey, here's 4 different flag sets, you pick who would work best.
So Professor Renderer is going to keep the Womp Womp Vorpal -2. It's not even a Vorpal, it's a Vorpa, which is like a small scooter version of a sword.
I mean, I'd just keep the ice +5 over it.
Yeah, 100%. But, runners got to make their own decisions, right? Ultimately, in group races like this, I've always said you got to race your race. You can't really try to plan against other people. And race in a way that you feel comfortable that you're going to complete, or if your dog says otherwise, get on out. You can join the Center for Competitive Forfeiting. There's usually an internship open for that.
I will say, most ducklings should definitely take your advice. However, if you think you're, good at Final Fantasy Randomizer, I am a fan of altering your route to play a bit more risky if you're, say, a lower seeded player.
So yeah, I agree to the degree that you have to be able to say, I am comfortable with my resources to do this. And I know that I know that there are plenty of runners in here who will say, you can make big plays by doing things like early sky. Papa Ducks among them.
Or, the Galaxy Brain play to find a loose key at Sarda. That was fun. That was fun to see.
I remember one of my first community races. It was the first race that I was restreamed on. I finished third behind Thunder and Bert, which is that felt pretty good. I was in the Temple of Fiends Revisited as they finished, so I was not far behind. But I just had a series of ridiculous plays that everybody's like, why would you do this? And then it paid out. So sometimes that happens. At the same time, the odds on plays are a thing to pay attention to all the time.
Yeah, risk versus rulable herd. It's like I would have going back again to this early skydive that Kate and Papa Ducks did. Yeah, it's higher risk, but the reward was huge.
Papa Ducks ran out of there with basically all the levels he needed.
All the levels and 90% of the equipment. It was like once Papa Ducks finished, he was like level 20, 22.
We got Professor Renderer heading up in the Sky Maze. Right then up, which is a very acceptable pathing, unlike those deviant left then down people.
No, the worst pathing is left down, left down, left down.
Well, then you've gone too far. And you're almost all the way back to your teleporter.
No, I mean left one, down one, left one.
Right, but you said it 3 times, so then you'd be almost back to the teleporter down.
You just keep going till you see a thing, right?
Remember, the teleporters are arrows that point where they go.
I bet they all look the exact same. Hold up.
Nope. Downs point down, ups point up.
So are you looking for the up one?
I've been playing this game for 30 years and I never noticed that.
You learn new things all the time.
I've played this game on 3 different platforms, 3 different remakes of it, and I still didn't notice that.
It was news to me sometime in the last 8 months. So don't feel bad. Everybody learns it sometime.
It's almost like everyone forgets to talk to Vicky.
So I don't consider it to be quite as rite of passage, but here's the thing, and I say this to you as I know that you are in the Iron Goal space, and therefore the possibility of Sky Maze becomes more and more real.
Thanks
there is
for
a
that
flag.
one, Papa Ducks.
there is a flag in this randomizer that puts up walls and randomly places the teleporter up.
Yep.
Getting lost in there and not knowing the difference between the teleporters is a big deal.
I've gotten that flag thanks to Papa Ducks over here challenging me a while ago.
Did you get lost in the Sky Maze trying to find the up?
Was that the race that the teleporter was 1 to the left? And I ended up spending 5 minutes looking everywhere else. That was the last place I checked, and it was right next to where you came in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I did a seed recently where it was almost visible from the teleporter from the second or from the third floor, and I walked away from it. It was just off screen, and I walked I followed the path, and it was like 10 paces from the other teleporter, and with no walls between. Those are the most frustrating.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this one was.
Yeah. I got introduced to a lot of map stuff with Iron Goal. Learning about the maze, procedurally generated waterfall, and floor entrance shuffle at the same time was quite fun.
Floor entrance shuffle with flipped horizontal floors is another thing. It is a thing that exists, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not the flipping horizontally that gets me. It's the color palette changes that really get to my brain. Because you enter a floor volcano and it's blue, and I'm like, what? Why is this sea shrine hurting me?
So you say that, but have you ever had Earth 4 as your horizontal flipped floor?
Yes.
Oh, and you were okay with that?
Yeah.
The other one that gets me is when you get waterfall flipped horizontal, and you're like, oh, it's procedurally generated. Nope.
Waterfall flipped is the one that's the worst for me.
I think that the funniest one to be flipped is Toph. Aha! I'm gonna go get these.
Floor.
I'm gonna get these. Oh yeah, carry floor is even funnier.
Carry floor is easier to spot though, because the staircase is off center.
Once again, I didn't know that.
So yeah,
if it's off center to the right, it's normal. If it's off center to the left, it's flipped.
Yeah, when you go into Toph and you're just like, aha, I'm gonna go get these loose items before talking to Chaos. Big mistake.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Garland first, always. Anyway, Professor Render making his way through Topher, and Chimera's no Blaze.
You know, Chimera is one of my favorite enemies generally. They're worth a lot of experience and tend to be pretty easy. Also, they're the best made-up name in the game.
One of the few ones that are solely made up off of Square Enix's head.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, was it still Square Enix? Is Nasir. We can always blame Nasir. Meanwhile, off stream, we have our 7th place finisher, Metagloria, finishing with a time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, squeaking in under that 2-hour mark. Get your GGs out in chat for our 7th place finisher, Metagloria.
And we are rejoined in Twitch chat by, hey, it seems that his dog is done. Maybe we can get him in for an interview now that he's back in chat.
The thing I will say to Hate, knowing that he can hear us in the stream, I've got mad respect for the fact that you walked out of Dwarf to walk back in and kill the Hooray Dwarf a second time.
And then he came back a few minutes later, did it a third time.
Well, there was a turn-in associated with that third time, but the second time, it was kill on the way out from turning in the TNT.
Very
walk
diligent.
out, walk immediately back in. There was purpose in that. All right, Professor Renderer up against Carry 2. Looks like it did not heal the red mage up.
Oh boy, is Professor Render gonna regret that once he
Well-
sees nuclear?
The Black Mage just got back roads, so we'll see. Carry 2 is terminated. That was a very fast kill on Carry 2.
Yeah, Masa got really lucky with its crits.
This is a seafood party platter on a not healed party, but they still get away. This is a very bold decision, I will say.
I mean, I don't remember anything in Sea Cavern that was dangerous.
Lobsters are always dangerous.
Yeah, I think something in the party platter had something petrification related. I
Yeah,
know
there
right
was-
here I got stoned.
There was a Brack
Not even
in the
healed
pack.
with Kraken too? What?
Ooh, that's
Turn one
gutsies.
fast on Kraken 2 is he's gonna one-shot everyone.
Mm. Living fast and dangerous. And not actually having the fast, it's the Kraken with the fast.
Yeah, Kraken's the fast one here.
That is a very
600.
dead red wizard. I think this is a redive, Professor. Oh, Kraken goes down. Please heal. Please heal.
I'm so confused. Why isn't he healing?
Oh, we've lost the ninja to Ice 2 spam. Which is very unfortunate. We've got a
Fighter.
man mode knight with 66 hit points and a dream. Please heal.
He must not have heals. Oh, that's a forfeit.
Okay. Well, GG's Professor Renderer. You did a very solid run.
Going out heroically, it seems. Now, I will say that was not a strategic forfeit, but boy, was it a stylish one.
True. The stylish things that you see with that. I'm used to seeing things like the victory lap at Chaos when you're, fairly far behind, but you got to show that you got the things going for you. But this is good too. We are seeing a Professor Renderer wants to come in for an interview real quick. But with this, all 4 runners on stream are finished. And we are joined by Professor Renderer. GG, Professor. I know forfeit's not always the best feeling, but you went out with style here.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. I should have taken the white mage instead of the thief. Because of the fact that there was so many, there was life locked away by white mage, I probably should have been more it was pretty late in the game anyway. So if I had known that life and all that would have been locked behind that, I probably should have taken the white mage, just ABCD'd it. But yeah, it just doesn't. It sucks that that it ended up being like that because while 8-bit theater party is nice and all for the fact that you can run with a ninja, the fact that that floater was locked behind so much that it just became the fact that's okay, this is not worth it at all. I probably should have taken a white mage instead. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about it, really.
Well, one of the things that I had noted while you were going through is that you actually were on track to go floaterless. You had go mode, and you were just, I noted it right as you were finishing up carry 1. That you could have just sailed on over to sea and sky and finished it out like that.
Yeah, and I knew that. I needed that. I felt like I needed that promotion. Just that promotion because of what was going on with the spells. the spells were like in such an awful position. Some of the like Imbus 2 was like really awful as well, and even not even Imbus 2 I could pick up. Well, I had White Shirt, yes, but and I probably should have just looked at Hall of Giants too. I was considering Hall of Giants earlier, but I didn't. But as soon as I got the Earth Herb, I just didn't bother to go back in. I should have checked that in case there was any grind tiles that I noted. I know there was the Zombie D and the slimes that were in Volcano. I thought about it, but I just at the point I reached all my 4 crystals. I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to. I want to get out of this. I want to at least wipe somehow, and then just call it a day. I am like mentally wiped myself.
Yeah, understandable. Like, sometimes I just don't have patience for some of these seeds, especially with the uber high encounter rate.
Yeah, that encounter rate was just ugh. That encounter rate was crazy. It was not letting up.
Though this was a very good seed to teach a lot of ducklings about encounter manipulation because of that hero run off the hard reset.
Right. I noted it, but I never bothered to go. I didn't bother to go power cycle. This seed. I'm more used to just soft resetting, not power cycling.
Yeah.
I mean, I bound into my joystick, my thumbstick buttons for soft reset and hard reset, but that's because I have an 8-bit though. I just didn't bother to do so because I was like, throughout this whole seed, it was just like, now there's so much.
Yeah, you'll be surprised at just how much a hard reset can do for some. Earlier today, I ran a practice seed where I could go all the way from Canal to Crescent Lake off the hard reset. That was so nice.
Yeah, I mean, and stuff like that. I mean, that kind of stuff is kind of proof that, yeah, the hard reset can really work wonders. And I know in one of the seeds that I played, I forget which one it was. I found that I saw there was like a war mech at like the 5th encounter of a power cycle, and I thought, all right, I may as well take advantage of that. Because it was like I was on an entrance floor shuffle seed.
Yeah. Look. Currently, I'm looking in the spoilers discussion chat in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, and yeah, the hero run was off of the hard reset.
Yeah, I could have thought about that. Yeah, I should have considered it too. Should have considered hard the power cycle. But
although housing was not the cheapest this seed.
Yeah, I had to use cabins throughout, and whatever houses I find, I just use them immediately just to get the magic refill. And if I didn't have any, I just would go back into towns, and just kind of like that's kind of the price you have to pay for having the houses being like at 1.9k, which is yeah.
So while we've been talking, Chess Jerk has finished in 8th place, our final runner in this race with a time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, 12 seconds. GG's Chess Jerk for the finish here.
GG.
Right. Do you have any more questions for our runners?
Well, I do want to just ask, because I've asked our other runners here as well. Professor Render, as you went through the seed, learned the lessons that were here, do you have any words of wisdom as we go into Duck Derby Race 4 this Sunday?
If there's a situation where if you find that there's fighter and red mage that is forced, just go for the fighter rainbow because you'll never know if the life or something of that nature is red mage locked, or Invis 2 or whatever. And then if you see a really good run, whether it be on a power cycle or not, just take it. Just take it, and then just just know where your trap, know what the best trap tiles are. Take them, abuse them whenever you can.
Right. Well, with that, let's move on to final thoughts. Wrap up the stream here. We'll start with our first place on-stream runner, Papadux. Papadux, what do you got for final thoughts for us tonight?
That was a good practice run for this Sunday. Looking forward to that. Had a good time. Just want to thank you guys for commenting the event and tracking it, and thanks SpeedGaming for hosting us.
Hey, Demon RHK, what have you got for us? Final thoughts.
Thank you guys. As just gonna echo, thanks SpeedGaming for hosting us. You guys for commenting, for tracking as well. It was fun. It was nice to knock the rust off after a couple months and still put up a pretty decent time here. As far as this flag set coming up for this Sunday, run your race. Just don't be afraid to take a risk here and there, but know your own limits and don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone and try something off the wall. Maybe you'll get up at level 10 and with 2 Banes and a Bane sword and take out TA. Who knows?
All right, Professor Renderer, final thoughts.
Other than the fact that I probably should have taken the white mage, and echoing what pretty much everyone else has said too. Yeah, I mean, this game is fun. When it definitely hurts. It definitely hurts. But I'm not upset about it at all. I don't feel bad about forfeiting this, considering everything that's happened. But other than that, I'm gonna echo what everyone else has said as well. Thanks SpeedGaming for hosting this Final Fantasy 1 weekly. Shouts to the comms and trackers and all that stuff. And, just should have taken the white mage straight up.
All right, Admiral Tryhard, my co-coms tonight. Final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts are going to be a bit more directed towards the Ducklings in general. This seed was absolutely great practice for a couple of things, like risk and reward and routing, what you're comfortable with, like how alternative ways to kill fiends with that Bane and Brack, and then like thinking about it's also great for thinking about why you pick what kind of party. This seed's pretty much just got everything that a duck should really want to get down pat. It is really nice seeing this be a practice seed for the final bit of the Duckling Derby.
All right. Well, with that, we are wrapping up here tonight. I am Saracen. I have been joined in the booth tonight by Admiral Tryhard on comms. We had Devious RNG as our tracker tonight. I want to say GG to all of our racers, on stream and off. Our on-stream racers, Papadux, Demon RHK, Hate the 13th, and Professor Renderer. Thank you to SpeedGaming for hosting. We cannot put on a show without a stage. And again, if you like what you see and you want to give it a shot, at least take a look, come check out the Discord. You can find it at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. That's also where you can find the randomizer itself. Check out all of the different options. Come join the community. Come hang out with us. It's a good crew. So with that, I have been Saracen. Again, Admiral Tryhard in the booth with me, Devious RNG on the tracking, and SpeedGaming, fantastic hosts as always. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.